Welcome to the Mi Casa, Su Casa podcast, hosted by Saenz, powered by Verly. This is where we interview top business professionals, industry leaders, operational managers, and thought leaders from around the nation, diving into hot current topics to help you experience Mi Casa, Su Casa.
Well, hi, Nicole.
Good morning.
Thanks for being on my show today. It's a little early.
Little early, but it's good. It
right?
feels like a Monday, but it's not a Monday.
It's not a Monday.
Mhm.
It's not a Monday. At least I don't think it is. I just talked about how I was confused and I posted the wrong thing on the wrong day, but oh well.
Yeah.
We'll just go on.
Just go with the flow.
I know.
Nobody
feel
else
like
probably knew it was the wrong day.
probably
so-
no, and I probably could have gotten away with it,
Yeah.
but some people would have known. So I thought I'll just put it out there. I messed up. Everybody messes up.
Yeah.
Move on. So I feel like I just saw you because I did, right?
We did.
Yesterday.
We did.
Yes.
I know the whole crew here from kwELITE and Charter Title, Exarban. I think they were all there.
Yes. So, of course, those of you that don't know what we're talking about, I was in this great party. I mean, it kind of was. We took part in Women's Build Day for Habitat for Humanity yesterday, and it was a big group of women that showed up from all over the community to help build a home.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were actually building a home. We weren't just painting it, y'all. All right?
Mhm.
We were actually
Awesome.
hammering. Nicole was drilling through the cement in the basement.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
It was a
I
good
felt
deal.
like I could conquer anything after just spending an afternoon there, being able to learn how to use all the power tools and tear things apart and put them back together. It was a lot of fun. And like you said, just working with a ton of women from the community. I mean, a lot of familiar faces and people who are super involved. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think so. And I even heard today from one of the other volunteers that was there, some people were upset that I guess they didn't hear about
I didn't
it.
know about it, yeah.
And they wanted to be a part of that too. And I mean, we already had such a great group. So I can't wait if we do this again next year.
Yeah, well, when they mentioned a women build,
Uh-huh.
like actual build the whole thing. 'cause
Yes.
yesterday was just a women's
Day, yes.
But to actually do like a whole women's build, I mean, with the turnout we had, and like you said, a lot of people who didn't know about it, I think that could totally happen.
Yeah,
That would be awesome.
absolutely. Absolutely.
We need some like people of knowledge to maybe make sure.
Well,
the
yeah, and there's
structure's
always
good.
like a manager, like professionals on site to kind of tell us, or anybody, men or women that have never maybe built a home before. Hey, this is how you do it, and then you do this and things like that. So
Yeah, so it was really fun.
yeah. So while we were there, we were having lunch, and then is it Hope Dreschner?
Hope Fresh Hour.
Fresh
Yep.
Hour. Yeah, I was
Yes.
like, I know I'm going to mess up that name. So
Yep.
learning everybody's first and last name.
Yep.
She's with United Way, and then she's also kind of like a life coach, right?
Mhm. She's a Christian life coach. and
Yes.
You and I were sitting together, and all of a sudden the floodgates opened. I could not stop crying.
I know. So I wanted to ask you. She stood up and gave like a really nice like a talk, not a speech, but like a talk, and I found it very empowering.
Mhm.
Empowering.
Yeah.
And not just, I mean, it was directed to women because there was a big group of women there, but obviously for anybody. And I saw you, it really moved you.
Yeah.
And what was it about it specifically?
Well, I think my goal in everything that I do has always been, and I say this over and over again, to empower women. Like
Mhm.
whether it's through color, whether it's through the clothing that they're wearing, just being a friend, like whatever the case may be, like I just love that empowerment. And so Hope started talking about, empowerment and, really just understanding who you are through color and style. I talk about that a lot with my clients, like just being able to know who you are
Uh-huh.
and not try to be somebody else,
Right.
not try to, fit into a mold that you don't fit into, because nobody fits in the same mold.
Right.
And I think so many times women get so down on themselves
Uh-huh.
in that comparison game, or I mean whatever.
And
you
not
know.
just women and men,
Yeah.
kids,
Yes.
teens.
Yes.
Yeah,
I always say
probably
if I could
dogs.
take, no kidding.
At this day and age, probably
My
dogs.
little dog barking at the big dog. But yeah, I just think right now the season of life that we're in, just this generation is so in that comparison and
Yeah.
who am I? And I don't know. It's just that I was on a conference call before I got out of the car to start the build,
Uh-huh.
and she was talking about pretty much the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just felt like when Hope started talking, it was just like God completely bonking me over the head again, like,
Like get this through your head.
yes, like I feel like I'm in the right place is kind of
Mhm.
what I felt like,
Oh, yeah.
like, I mean, yeah, do I struggle? Do I feel like I've got it all together? Gosh, absolutely no. but hearing other people talk like that, it just feels, I don't know, I just felt yesterday like where I was at was where I needed to be.
Right.
And looking around
Mhm.
the room at all them women that you see and who
From all
I
different
know are,
walks of life and
yes, yeah, elderly women and young women,
yes.
all over.
We
I don't
had
know.
someone there that had been who had built in like 16 different countries. She
Yes.
talked about her like most memorable build was in this little area which was used to be known in
In
Russia,
Russia, yeah.
and they had no electricity, and they were building with brick and mortar
Yeah.
on the
Trying
ground.
to get concrete mixed with,
Yeah,
I'm envisioning them walking miles with buckets for water. Like it
right.
probably wasn't that desolate, but
And it
maybe.
was probably cold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and
Yeah.
then there was someone else who it was a veteran, an older woman that was a veteran, and I think she had served like 2 or 3 tours, and just yeah, I think you're right. I think we were like in the right place
Hmm.
where we needed to be just to kind of hear that
Yeah.
inspiration. So,
Yeah, exactly.
and I think that's also why I wanted to have you on my show because you're from, you're not this well, actually you are a jet setter.
Mm.
You're all over the country.
Kind
Um
of. Just because I love to travel. But
right?
yeah.
I see you, with some celebrities. And but mostly I see you doing a lot of things that everybody here can do every day.
Hmm.
And like you said, you just find a way to empower other people with what you're doing.
Yeah, I guess I think that that's what I'm hoping is happening.
Uh-huh.
Because I've posted before, I put my pants on the same as everybody else. I have the same 24 hours in a day as
Yeah.
everybody else.
Mhm.
It's just really, what do you do with that time? And
Mhm.
what do you do with, the ability that you have? And I personally love to travel. So I do. I travel a
Mhm.
lot. I've seen a lot of places. And I feel super blessed that I'm able to do
Mhm.
that. I have a family that supports me through that too. And
Right?
um, but yeah, I am nobody special. That is for sure. It's just,
But you are because we're all special.
yeah, I
We're
guess
all special.
unique in her own way.
Right, right. Well, I think the main thing is that for us to stop and everyone in general to stop comparing ourselves to everyone out there
Hmm.
and to quit looking out there for what we can find, not just in here, but especially in Columbus, in our town, in our own community, because we've got like a lot of really great people and a lot of great things going on because of those great people.
Yep.
So,
I always say, if
how,
you can dream it, you can do it.
right?
Honestly, you can. Just have to
Yeah,
get out of your head and get out of your own way.
right. I mean, and I had a guest a couple weeks ago that he came from a different country
Hmm.
and is here now and is his own business owner, volunteer firefighter, a veteran, all this stuff,
Hmm.
and he never would have believed that he could be here. And maybe here in Columbus doesn't sound like glorious or like so fabulous, but it is to so many people
Hmm.
all around the world.
It is, and I think just talking about yesterday again too, how many people aspire to travel or aspire
Hmm.
to own their own business or whatever, where this sweet girl was just aspiring to have a home.
Yeah,
And I
just
think that's what it was, just the whole experience of yesterday was just like, you know, when
hmm
you think things are bad, there's always somebody else who's got something else going on. So just offer that up, pray for them, and just do whatever you can to make yourself happy. Like quit living in fear that you can't,
right.
you know?
hmm
Yeah.
What so how I guess how did you start? Because, I mean, like I said, you're a jet setter, you travel, you do this, you do that, but you do that because of work that you do, the business
Hmm.
that you run, the businesses that you're involved in. You talked
Yep.
about how you like to, find colors for women. That's
Hmm.
another avenue of business that you have. You have your store downtown. You'll have a bed and breakfast. That's just what I know.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of things that you dabble in that you do.
Yeah.
And of course, a mom, a wife,
All the
all
things.
those things,
Yep.
all those things.
Yep.
So, how did you get started? I mean, were you born with superhuman powers
Yeah.
or
Somebody asked me this question yesterday. It's kind of like your first kiss. Sometimes you're like, I don't remember when that was. But I always say if I could take every little girl with a lemonade stand or a bracelet making hobby and take her under my wing, that's a little entrepreneur.
Uh-huh.
Like I was the girl on the driveway. Sometimes would just take water and drop certs in it because we couldn't afford to have powdered lemonade apparently for me to use.
Uh-huh.
I grew up in a household with parents that were divorced. Um, you know, things weren't silver platter,
Mhm.
given to me. And I learned at an early age if I want something, either for myself or whatever the case may be. Sometimes I had to work a little harder for it. I was never without. My parents were very good parents as far as support goes, so don't get me wrong there. But, sometimes you want to go to the Buckle and get the most fashion jeans or whatever. My mom would say, okay, but you got to pay for the rest, or whatever.
What were they? Pepe jeans back then?
Pepe, yeah, or Lawman.
Lawman. Forgot
Yes.
about those.
So yeah, I just learned at an early age what it meant to work hard. And at 13 years old, I had my first job. And
What was that?
I worked at Wonderlicks, and I was stuffing meals for they would have events or whatever, so we would stuff the styrofoam meals and deliver those.
So I mean, I'm not trying to get anybody arrested here, but that's not, what is that? Child labor laws?
I think
Violation
the
of
job
child
I
labor
was
laws.
doing was like a no-brainer. I couldn't touch knives. There was a lot of rules.
Well, I don't have
involved.
room to talk. I got my first job at 14.
Yeah.
But, it was out in the middle of nowhere, so no one's going to tell. But
well, my dad's girlfriend at the time worked there, so I think it was kind of a, sure, she can help.
Of
type
course,
of a deal.
yes.
And I detasseled. I rogued. I wanted a guitar, and so I worked, 2 summers to save up money to buy myself a guitar. But from that point forward, I've always had 2 jobs. Always. I worked at Burger King, and I loved it. I always tell Mark, if times got tough and I need to go back to Burger King, I would. I loved it. I made so many
They would
good memories
take you,
there.
I think.
Yes,
I think they would definitely take you.
Yeah. So I've just always had more than one job. I just like to work. I guess it's just a lot of work ethic too, just liking to work. But
because you get, I guess you reap what you sow in a way. You put in the work and you get to see what the product is. I didn't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. You took your real estate license course at the same time Renee, my boss, did.
Yep.
And Renee passed and you didn't, right?
That's correct.
That's correct. So you would have thought, "Ooh, woe is me. I'm never going to amount to anything." Which a lot of people would think that way when we study or try really hard for something and it doesn't go the way we imagine. But that didn't happen to you at all.
No, it just wasn't the path God had laid for me, because after her and I took the test, I met Mark, my husband, today. And if I had passed my real estate license and proceeded with that journey, I wouldn't have met my husband, because he hired me to work at his office.
Oh, that was my experience. I was like, well, so then how did you guys meet?
I married Mark.
I remember
married my husband, or my boss. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's just like
you were available, and it just kind of led from one thing to the other.
Yep. And it created a friendship with Renee and I. I mean, we had known each other prior to that, but she was older than me. In high school, you can't hang out with people who are older than you.
Right.
Thing. But the real estate classes brought us together. We drove and took our test together, and she clenched through my crying anger as I left the office.
Right.
And I didn't at the time really think I would take the test again. I just felt after I didn't pass, like it was fine. Was I upset? Well, yes, because it was,
it's
a lot
just
of studying.
Sense of rejection or maybe failure, or I could have done something better. I think the thing that we all go through.
And I think I missed it by like 1 or 2 questions.
Of course.
So it was one of those things that it was so close, but it just wasn't meant
to be.
It wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. So then you started working for your husband. Where did he hire you, or what were you guys
own
doing?
an ag retail business. So his dad started this company over 50 years ago.
Oh.
And so Mark was starting to come back in, and because Mark was in Desert Storm and went to college for a little bit and then came back. And so he was kind of in the process of taking over the business for his dad, and they needed somebody to answer the phone.
Yeah.
So that's all I was going to do.
I
almost walked out of there because I did not want to work there.
An ag store.
Yeah, he was very persistent in how he hired me, and I started the next day. And I worked there for 21 years until just this it was December of 2020 that I opened the brick and mortar downtown for Beyoutiful Boutique. And so I still go out there and do payroll and some different reporting and things, but for the most part, I say I retired after 21 years.
Absolutely. I mean, you'd think, so you started when you were
I was
5?
young. I was young. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you did that for 21 years, but you opened your brick and mortar store, Beyoutiful Boutique downtown, but you always ran something like that, like out of your basement?
Yep. The store was in my basement for 4 years. And in the midst of working with Mark, I've always had something else, another side gig on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So New Skin is the health and beauty product that I promote that has really offered me a lot of the freedom that I have and a lot of the travel that I've done. So yeah, I've done that for 5 years.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Hmm.
So, and I think that's the same that's the same beauty product that I think I have the tanning lotion
Hmm.
on,
Yeah.
and I think I use the face
The Lumi Spa
Lumi
is our,
Spa.
yeah.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes. So, and I'm just mentioning all this to promote you or
Yeah.
whatever, or because we're friends or anything like that. That's why I use it. But you do provide a lot of different services and products for people, not just here in Columbus, but like you said, nationwide.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
ship
now we
all
have the
over.
ability of being able to get out there and connect with people,
Hmm.
across the country a lot easier than back
Yep.
in the day.
Yep. And with that too, it's empowering other women who also want to better their financial status too and improve their health or their wellness, their face, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a team of over 200 women that I work with, probably a dozen more close on a daily basis, but it's empowering that too. When somebody calls you and says, they just deposited this much money in my account, is that mine? Yeah. Or I paid off a credit card 3 years before I had planned to. Like those things motivate me every day
Right.
to just, not just sell a product, but it is honestly something that you share because you love it. People always say, do you really like it? Yeah, I really do. My
Mm-hmm.
closet or my countertop is full of
You use it as
products.
well.
Yeah, of course.
You're a consumer, not just
That is
the
absolutely right.
salesman,
Mm-hmm.
saleswoman.
Yep. Yep.
So then, so you were working with Mark there in the office for 21 years, and then you started your store, you said 4 years ago?
This year in October will be 5 that the store's been
And
open.
what made you want to do that?
I just had a dream one day.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of a funny story, but I was on my way to Husker Harvest Days, which is a huge farm show, with Mark in Grand Island, and I had fallen asleep in the car, fashionably as I do. Car rides make me sleepy.
Yes.
And I had a dream that I opened a boutique, and the name was Beyoutiful Boutique. Soon as I woke up, I called my lawyer and asked him if that name was available, and it was. And then that was September, and by October, I had everything open in the store, and we opened.
Oh my gosh.
It was just, I think the biggest advice I could give to anybody is to not get in your own way. Like if you have a thought,
Because you think
and
well, I need to do this first, and this, and I
yeah,
should probably do this, and this, and
mm-hmm,
this. Yes.
yeah. And some people's personalities are they need to research a little bit more, and that's perfectly fine. But I just feel like so many people could do the things that they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
They just do it. And
Right.
what's the worst that's going to happen? I've opened a business. I owned Supper Time here in Columbus. I was, let's see, that would have been 13 years ago. Um, Bought the franchise 6 months later, found out I was pregnant, and puked my way through the nauseous, being pregnant part of getting a store ready.
Uh-huh.
And then 18 months later, found out I was pregnant again with Brody,
Oh my God.
and just decided, okay, this probably isn't the right thing because Emma was little at the time when I
Uh-huh.
started it. So I don't look at that as a failure. It was an opportunity to offer a great service in town, but it just didn't work out. It wasn't the right time. It
Right.
might work today, but I don't let that hold me back. The fear of something not succeeding.
Right.
So,
Mm-hmm.
and I think so many people get held up with.
Oh, absolutely. I think
Mhm.
we are always, like you said, always comparing ourselves, or
Mhm.
that was a constant reminder of that failure, and what did I do wrong? And again, I think it's that self talk that a lot of us are guilty of.
Mhm.
And I think we do it so many times without even thinking.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah.
we're caught in this cycle of, ugh,
Yep.
now, I mean, what happened to my life?
Yep.
And it's
And
not so
there's times I
bad.
lay in bed and I'm doing
Yeah.
the same thing. So don't listen and think, "Oh my gosh, no." There's days I do things and then I'm like, "Oh my gosh. Okay, but I've done it. So how am I going to
Hmm.
make it work? What do I need to do to make sure that this all works out?" So
Hmm.
there's that self-doubt that creeps in, but I just feel like that's the devil. You just need to tell him to get lost
Yep.
because I can do it.
Well, yeah, because like I said, and that's, again, very, very relatable to everyone that here around the world, the country, whatever.
Right.
um and again, I think that's maybe what I'm still trying to figure out, what I'm doing here on the show, what I want to talk about and things like that. And I think what my I'm going towards is that there are a lot of great people here that are doing great things, and like I said
Mhm.
before, providing these awesome services, experiences, and whatnot. And we don't need to look so far, and just look around at what we have here and like take advantage of it, or
Yep. pick the brains of the people who you
Yeah.
see that, instead of comparing yourself or feeling intimidated,
Hmm.
talk to us, ask us
Yes.
questions. Most people will help you if you have a thought or, some kind of an idea. And you
Mhm.
just need to pick the brain of people who've done it ahead of you. I had to do that too. Group of old men, I can't remember what they call them that come into the chamber. There's a name, but they're successful businessmen who are now retired.
Uh-huh.
And you can go in and pick their brains and ask them questions on how to do things. And so those things are out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think yesterday one of the speakers that stood up, Melanie, and I'm gonna butcher her last name too, Canopoli.
Knifley.
Yeah, thank you. She's a financial advisor,
Yeah.
and she stood up saying, it's okay if you don't know what this, or that. And I can't even repeat what the terms were that she was using
Yeah.
as an example because no, I did not know them. And she said, you're not supposed to know that stuff. And it's okay to ask questions. And
Yeah.
I think in this day and age, a lot of people are intimidated to ask questions because they're going to be, oh, she doesn't know, or he doesn't know, or how do you not know that?
Yep.
And yeah, picking the brains of other people around you, especially again, here in this community.
Yeah, the life lessons that you can learn. And like you said, everybody, like, if I could be an accountant too, there wouldn't be a need for an accountant. Or if I could be my own attorney or my own financial coach, I'm like, all the people are different to make all the things work.
Right.
So
Mhm.
yeah, asking somebody else about something you don't know, like I don't know all the accounting things that I need to know, or I have a boutique coach who coaches me through running my store, and
Mhm.
I'm actually going to Nashville this weekend to
Mm.
have a day of training with her. So
Oh,
like,
nice. And what is that? Just like, is it someone that's involved like in one of the like products that you sell, or is it just
no, she was a boutique owner in her past life
oh,
and learned a lot through it. And so she started offering free, just like she'd go live on Facebook and talk about, the things she learned. And it obviously was a need. And so now she's a coach
mhm.
for boutique owners. And she is one heck of a boutique coach. She's amazing. Sierra Stockland is her name with the
Okay.
boutique workshop. And anybody who has a boutique or brick and mortar or
And
is a
does
wholesaler of a product, she can coach you through it.
I see. So does it just apply to, like you said, boutiques, like stores like that, like clothing, like products,
Yeah, but I
or is
think
it
if you
anybody
have
that's kind of like
really
your
anything
own?
retail,
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know, the boutique runs just the same as any other store,
Right.
Um, but yeah, I just found her on accident. Was sitting in my car on a rainy baseball day and was scrolling Facebook and found that free live that she had done
Mhm.
and connected with her. And so we have a one-on-one coaching call every month, and she does trainings. I think let's see, every Tuesday she does a training on Facebook or a Zoom.
Mhm.
So it's just constant,
Yeah.
information and things
So
to.
you don't know it all
No,
yet.
absolutely,
You're still
absolutely
picking the
not.
brains of those that know more.
Yeah, I mean, I started the boutique as a hobby just to offer something different to the women in Columbus. There were sometimes I would lose money if I sold an item because I would just price all my shirts at 24 and all my jeans at 40, and sometimes the jeans cost me 44.
Uh-huh.
But it was more fun, more of a hobby. So moving into brick and mortar, you have a little bit more,
Overhead?
overhead. So I had to, learn, okay, Nicole, you have to actually count inventory and know what your cost is on things, and um, have processes in place to be successful. And I think that's really what she's helped me learn. So yeah, I'm
Yes.
excited to. She lives in Nashville, so we got to go to Nashville. This is the second time I went out to see her and
Oh,
just do
wow.
a day of training. And the Magic Apparel Market's going to happen to be there, so I got to go
Oh.
check that out too while I'm there.
So are you gonna like bring back a bunch of products? Yeah,
Maybe,
that's the most
maybe.
important question here.
Yes. I'm excited to take all my color wallets for all 4 seasons and actually hold them up to the garments to pick the perfect pieces because it's hard. I shop online for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody shops online, they know it's really hard to pick things that actually,
Accurately.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
are accurate colors when you get them. So I'm excited to go and fill some gaps that we have in the seasons because my store is set up by season.
Right.
So if you get your colors done and you know what colors to wear, you know how to.
So explain that a little bit for those that don't know. What are you talking about when you say your colors, your colors?
Yeah. So 4 seasons. Yeah, summer, winter, autumn, and spring. They're not just for the weather, it's for your coloring too. So you have people who are warm, which have
Like
a
coloring, you
yellow
say some
base.
colors look better on some
Yep.
people versus others.
Yep.
Okay.
So we break it down to either warm or cool. You need yellow colors or blue colors, and that's the undertone of it. And then are you bright and vibrant, or do you need more soft and muted? So we kind of go through this whole system. We have 144 drapes. I don't go through all of them usually. But we go through a process of, looking to see what looks best on you. The wrong colors can make you look tired or sick.
Or washed out.
Yep.
And that can also, you can apply that kind of, to your, now that you know what your colors could be, your makeup, your hair color.
Yep.
Because
Everything.
women, I mean, we're always adding color, changing, things like that. And
Yep.
men and everybody. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, a lot of men get their colors done too, especially men in the professional world or people who, are seen by people every day.
and now with technology, I mean, that's everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's everybody. And again, I think that, so that really ties back in a really nice way how you said you just trying to empower people. So,
yeah, because even
and
a
if you feel
colored
better,
shirt,
yeah,
if you look in the mirror and you see that you look, vibrant and healthy, you're going to feel, more empowered than if you look in the mirror and you're like, ooh, I don't look like I feel very well today. And so then you just kind of mold into that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then do you have a lot of people that do that here in Columbus? Because I always see your posts and things like that. And
yeah, I mean, I have appointments almost every day. I have 2
awesome.
today. When we leave here, I have an appointment right away. So
awesome.
and then I do style classes, which is a separate class. I usually do those once a month on a Saturday because it's a longer day. But yeah, people travel from all over. I have people come from all over to get their colors done.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you ever get like pictures from them like, oh, look what I put together on my own now that I know?
All the time. I love it. I always tell people when they leave my studio, it doesn't mean the appointment's over.
Right.
They have my cell phone number. They can send me pictures, but yeah, as soon as a lady left on Saturday, she sent me a picture with her outfit that she put together. And she's like, did I nail it? It's like, yes, girl, you did. So, I love that. I love the friendships that it creates. I think that's the biggest thing of why I've always had a side gig is the friendships and the relationships.
Yep.
But yeah, when somebody sends you a picture and, you know that they're feeling confident and good, it's just like, I can't believe I get paid to do this because it's awesome.
Oh,
I love it.
That's a nice, feel good story.
It is.
Yeah. So on this Monday.
Yeah. Our quote unquote Monday.
Monday morning.
And it is Wednesday, right? It's like the hump day.
I don't even know right now.
Downhill slide.
I know. I don't even know. School's almost out, so we're all, that's what it's on. Like I think all of my kids' minds right now.
Yes.
And just trying to get through the last few days. Matt's over there shaking his head too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, Nicole, I just wanted to have you on kind of, have people discover who you are, everything that you do. And I'm not just talking about your businesses and things like that, but your everyday life and how you have the same struggles just like all of us do. And you just kind of keep going, day by day, and you have great days, you have not so great days, and you have great services that you provide to a lot of the people, not just here and everywhere around. And like I said, I just think it's another kind of something good that we have here in the community of Columbus, and to take a walk downtown and run into your store and run into all the other, stores that we have in that downtown area in Columbus.
We're growing down there.
We're trying
to build that downtown. So
yes.
Come downtown, shop downtown.
Absolutely. And you can find Nicole at Beyoutiful.
Yep.
Yes, boutique downtown. So it's got a really cool sign in the front. So
thank you.
Yes, and sometimes you'll see her running around in her. Is it your Camaro?
Oh, I have a Challenger.
Challenger. Yes.
My childhood dream car that I made a reality last year.
Yeah, and you paid that in cash by one of your side gigs, right? Yeah. Still doing it to this day.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks, Nicole, for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it.